Donald Trump's got to be show up for an arraignment in Miami. Lord, his supporters, they are pissed off, all upset, mad, angry, saying that this is it. They're going to take up arms for their guy. Okay, you can try that bullshit if you want to. You're going to end up like them fools on January 6th, like one of these fools who said that, now it was a mistake that he actually hit a police officer. He's now facing 14 years in prison. So guess what? You're about to go to jail. So y'all going to act a fool if you want to, but I'm telling you how it's going to end up if you try to act a fool, because they're going to be waiting to jack you. And they should, because y'all are crazy. Now, over the weekend, it was a number of folks out there talking about this particular story. I have gotten some of the greatest laughs watching some of these fools do all they can to defend Donald Trump. Now, one of the ones that really got me going was Jim Jordan. Over the weekend, he was on CNN with Dana Bash. And y'all should have heard this man with all of the mental gymnastics trying to explain why Trump was fine, why everything was good. Okay, y'all want a good laugh? Watch this. This is the best of Comedy Central.
Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, has the ability to classify and control access to information. That's what the Constitution and the court have said. So you can't obstruct when you can't obstruct when there's no underlying crime. He is not the President of the United States. That is the fundamental flaw.
And you're just taking him at his word.
And when he was president, he declassified the material.
He says point blank. He says point blank on tape, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't. He says in his own words, it's on tape as part of this indictment. He did not declassify the material. Therefore, it is classified.
Saying he could have is not the same as saying he didn't.
He said now I can't.
He has declassified this material. He said that now he can't, right, because he's not president now, but when he was president, he did declassify. He said that.
Which means that what he was holding was classified.
No, not if he declassified it when he was president of the United States, for goodness sake.
But he's saying point blank in this audio tape that he did not declassify it. What you're saying just doesn't make sense on its face.
This is what this truly is, Dana, is an affront to the rule of law. It's an affront to consistent application of the law. You had Secretary Clinton, who had classified material on a server. She was not president of the United States. She was Secretary Clinton. You have that happen. Nothing happens to her. When you have two people who do the same thing, and one has the standard that I've talked about, but the only one who gets indicted is the Republican. The only one who gets indicted is the one who was actually president, who did it the right way. Oh my goodness. That is what the American people see. And the other...
Really? That was it? It's cute how they love trying to bring up Clinton, trying to bring up President Joe Biden, trying to say, oh, they had documents. See, here's the difference. They gave them back. There was a subpoena. They literally have the notes of Donald Trump's own attorney who admits that he was trying to hide them. See, it's a little hard to sit here and dance around that. And they have worked themselves up into a lather. I mean, they're really upset, but they're really ticked off because not everybody who has been in Trump's orbit actually agrees with it, because, well, there's another guy who was the attorney general for Donald Trump, Bill Barr, who covered his ass on a whole bunch of stuff. Well, he went on Fox News on Sunday and was like, yeah, they got his ass.
Chief argument that comes up for the president's allies and his legal team that this should have been handled under the Presidential Records Act, not this Espionage Act charge and other federal statutes that were used here.
Well, it started out under the Presidential Records Act and the archives trying to retrieve documents that Trump had no right to have. But it quickly became clear that what the government was really worried about were these classified and very sensitive documents. I was shocked by the degree of sensitivity of these documents and how many there were, frankly. And so the government's agenda was to get those, protect those documents and get them out. And I think it was perfectly appropriate to do that. It was the right thing to do. And I think the counts under the Espionage Act that he willfully retained those documents are solid counts. Now, I do think we have to wait and see what the defense says and what proves to be true. But I do think that even half what Andy McCarthy said, which is if even half of it is true, then he's toast. I mean, it's a very detailed indictment. And it's very, very damning. And this idea of presenting Trump as a victim here, a victim of a witch hunt, is ridiculous. Yes, he's been a victim in the past. Yes, his adversaries have obsessively pursued him with phony claims. And I've been at his side defending against them when he is a victim. But this is much different. He's not a victim here. He was totally wrong. That he had the right to have those documents. Those documents are among the most sensitive secrets that the country has. They have to be in the custody of the archivist. He had no right to maintain them and retain them. And he kept them in a way at Mar-a-Lago that anyone who really cares about national security, their stomach would churn at it.
If anybody cares about national security, Lord, the folk on the right, y'all, are just beside themselves. They have been acting a plumb fool, angry and upset. But the thing that's so crazy, they're literally defending stupidity. They are so desperate to kiss this man's ass that they will knowingly defend BS. He was wrong. 100% without a doubt, flat out wrong. And he ignored the subpoena. He ignored and they said, dog, we ain't coming after you. Just give us the papers back. His own attorney recorded notes where he said, I don't want you going through my boxes. My pal, Dr. Julianne Malvo, she's the Dean, College of Ethnic Studies, California State University, Los Angeles. Dr. Amakongo Dabinga, Senior, Professorial Lecturer, School of International Service, American University, out of D.C., and Rita Shannon, former Georgia State Representative out of Atlanta. I think all of this is utterly hilarious, Amakongo, because the Republicans are embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing themselves defending a known liar, a man who ignored the directives of his own attorney, who wanted them to engage in his lies. They were like, say, dog, I ain't giving up my damn law license for your ass. They got the goods on them. But they want to keep playing games.
I think that you use the right term in terms of a game, because this is a game. I think that those who are running for president, they are hoping that in some way, shape, or form, this takes Donald Trump out, and they are either auditioning to be his number two if it doesn't take him out, or they are fighting to get his base. They want his base of support if for some reason he's removed from the picture. But they are really playing a dangerous game, because their rhetoric that they're putting out there can lead to even more dangerous things happening. We saw January 6th. We saw FBI offices getting targeted. And even now, the FBI is saying that there's no real chat about something major happening in Miami tomorrow. But there could be lone wolves out there who take this stuff seriously. And so these guys are being extremely dangerous. And not only the candidates, when you have some of these congressmen, when you have people like Lake, who lost in Carrie Lake, who lost in Arizona, talking about, this is my public service announcement that we all got guns, so you better be careful. I believe, Roland, at the end of the day, that some of these guys are unhinged enough that they actually want war. They've used the term war. They've used military terminology. And some people are like, oh, they're just trying to act big and tough. They actually want this. They want dissension. They want destruction, because they thrive in it. And these candidates, Tim Scott and the others, Nikki Haley tried to clean it up a little bit over the weekend because her husband's in the military. But here's the last thing I'll say, Roland. These guys who are defending Trump like this, they don't know everything that's going to come out that Jack Smith and Merrick Garland have. So there's going to be deeper things that are going to come out. And I just want to see how far they're going to take their defense, because we still do not yet know what Trump actually did with the documents. We know people took photos and all of this other things and where they were stored. But who came in, took pictures, and what did they do with them? Did Donald Trump sell them? Is this how Jared Kushner got that multi-billion or $1 million deal with Saudi Arabia? When that stuff comes out, it's going to be very interesting to see how they still try to twist themselves into pretzels like they're at my yoga studio or something, trying to defend this.
Here's Nikki Haley trying to, as you said, distance herself from this. Watch.
When I was at the UN, I saw that the president never got an ounce of credit or a moment's peace. I also had to deal with the Russiagate because that's what they were swirling around all the time, and we saw that that was not a fact. This is what I'll tell you. Two things can be true at the same time. One, the DOJ and FBI have lost all credibility with the American people, and getting rid of just senior management isn't going to be enough to fix this. This is going to take a complete overhaul, and we have to do that. Two, the second thing can also be true. If this indictment is true, if what it says is actually the case, President Trump was incredibly reckless with our national security. More than that, I'm a military spouse. My husband's about to deploy this weekend. This puts all of our military men and women in danger if you are going to talk about what our military is capable of or how we would go about invading or doing something.
Bottom line is, they know this fool is wrong, so they're trying to soften the blow. Just have some guts and speak truth.
Absolutely. And when you read that indictment of what Trump has been charged with, it's just absolutely egregious. Nobody who cares about national security can look at that and say that what he did was okay. And it's just so egregious because even his attorney talks about how he tried to stop him from breaking the law and the lengths that he went to go around his attorney to make sure that he could break the law. And so I'm glad that Bill Barr, Bill Barr doesn't get any credit, but I'm glad that for once he finally admitted that what Trump did was completely wrong and it is completely dangerous for this country. And so all this is very interesting to me. Republicans are always proclaiming to be the real patriots, but here we see that they are completely fine with a former president putting all of us at risk, not only the United States, but also our allies at risk. And so Trump has done irreparable damage to the country.
Now, this to me is, if you want to see just absolutely embarrassing, Julianne, is listening to Tim Scott and Harris Faulkner on Fox News. Now, this is just utterly pitiful. Listen to this nonsense.
Now to Senator Tim Scott. He is running in the Republican field for the nomination of the Republican Party for the White House against Donald Trump. Senator, it's an awkward position to be in, but the bottom line is you're a Republican. This was a Republican president, and look at what has happened. Your reaction?
Well, Harris, more importantly, I'm an American, and let's look at what's happening to an American. More important than Republicans or Democrats, red or blue, black or white, is this notion that our nation is the greatest nation on earth because Lady Justice has a blindfold on. That means that Republicans are not hunted and Democrats are not protected. It means that we look at every single case based on the evidence. And in America, every single person is presumed innocent, not guilty. And what we've seen over the last several years is the weaponization of the Department of Justice against the former president. You don't have to be a Republican to see injustice and want to fix it. You don't have to be a Democrat to see injustice and want to fix it. You just...
Boy, can you answer the question? he going all over the world. Can your ass answer the damn question? Yo, I'm going to play the rest of it, then I'm going to get Julianne. But, I mean, this is like a whole lot of nothing. First of all, I want to start, I'm an American. Well, shit, was somebody questioning your status like your party did Obama? All right, y'all, let me play. I can only stomach so much of this crap. So here's here's 60 more seconds.
Have to be an American and stand up for the right thing. I don't care whether you're on my party or not in my party. I don't care whether you look like me or not. The one thing that makes America the city on the hill is confidence in our justice system. And today, what we see is a justice system where the scales are weighted. That seems to be the outcome of where we are today. As President of the United States, I would purge all of the injustices and impurities in our system so that every American can have confidence that they will be seen by the Lady of Justice with a blindfold on. That is what we need in this nation, not more politicizing of the issues.
Yeah. Will you reach out, or have you reached out to the former President Trump?
Well, I was sitting here waiting to come on air, and so this is the first time I've had an opportunity to have a conversation, and I certainly will continue to pray for our nation and continue to pray that justice prevails.
Senator Scott, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
He said didn't even answer the second question. Julianne, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, no, he's incapable. I read the indictment. I don't know why. Well, I did read the indictment. Trump clearly took national security and he didn't pay attention. Had papers in the bathroom on the floor. You know, I mean, looks like somebody with ADD going through government documents. Not only that, I mean, first of all, Tim Scott, Roland, I don't even know why you pay that man any attention. He's an American. You know, he's an American. That's your answer to everything. He doesn't care what party you're in because he's an American. No, what he is a blankety blank, blank, blank fool. And every time he opens his mouth, he confirms the notion that he doesn't have enough sense. I don't know what he's running for, but he's certainly not running for president. He's running for secretary or something. Certainly not state, not housing, not. The indictment is very, very compelling, especially because of the inside information that exists in that indictment. You know that some of Trump's own people turned on him to get this information out. That's number one. Number two, I don't know what website I was on, but there's some website where his supporters were talking about lynching people, taking back over the government. January 6th, again, one of them said, if you thought January 6th was bad, watch out. Well, hopefully this time law enforcement gets it and he won't have this opportunity to turn his followers into a bunch of rabid fools. But, you know, thirdly, this is very sad, not that Trump has been indicted, but that some people who've read the indictment, some Republicans who read it, still believe that this is political. It's not political. Hillary never took documents that she wasn't supposed to have. She was never subpoenaed. Biden has some old documents. Again, he was never subpoenaed. When they asked him, do you have anything? He went through it and he gave it back to him. This is just egregious and it's arrogant. I mean, he might not have even gotten caught if he hadn't said, see, I have this document. I'm not supposed to have it. I could have declassified it. I didn't, but I have it. Well, you can't look at it because it's secret. Well, why do you have it out and throwing it about? This is the arrogance is just unspeakable. One of the Republican sites said he needs to learn how to shut his mouth. Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, a whole bunch of them need to learn how to shut their mouths. I just can't stop cracking up when I hear these people talking. It just is literally comedy, except for it makes my stomach hurt.
The bottom line is they don't want to accept what is truth.